So, I've had a rough go of it when it comes to Lego speedrunning recently. While I did get that Lego Indy 2 Rain% PB in January, and I did get to do my first ABL run earlier in the month, I haven't really been having much luck since then. Hell, I ended up just rage quitting a stream that was supposed to be for like a really awesome category that I routed myself. But I just felt so tired in the moment that I just ended up leaving. I don't know if it's the game that's making me tired, if I'm just tired of doing Lego Indy 2, or if I'm just tired with speedrunning in general. I've been trying to get into Lego Lord of the Rings because I know that game has like its own restricted 80% category, which is pretty interesting. But I've had more trouble learning the 80% there than I did with Lego Indy 2s. I don't know, I'll see how it goes in the future. But this sort of dry spell in speedrunning has led me to start thinking a lot about where I want to go over the year, in terms of the channel. Because it genuinely sucks to feel burnt out over something you were super passionate about. I think I'm at the point where I just have to step away for some amount of time in order to just recharge my energy and stop feeling really tired. I want to be able to to start a restricted 80% run without feeling like the death is just going to be inevitable, you know, like like I'm gonna make a slip up and Hanger Havoc, or I'm gonna have, you know, the standard motorbike mayhem that just kills my run because I go over 30 seconds from my PB. It's just very tiring. I want to have the same passion that I did before. The same passion that ended up getting me down to the sub hour. Same passion that got me down to that 55-55 PB. You know, a headspace, the headspace I've like found myself in recently is just thinking that I'm never going to be good enough at speedrunning to feel like I can represent the community or do the games justice at showcases like GDQ or others, And it's a headspace I really do not want to be in. It should be an easy decision to make, right? Just step back for however long it takes for me to recover from a burnout. Well, there's something that's making it much harder for me to make that decision than I need to. And that one thing is the fact that I was pretty much banking on Lego speedrunning being my thing for this channel. Back in my 2026 will be my year video from a while back. Like all the plans for a channel that I laid out in that video, all entirely revolved around Lego speedrunning. You know, if I lose this passion, or if I have to like take a step back and I don't really know how long this step back is going to last, you know, everything could be in jeopardy. All those plans could just be for nothing. And plus, I have to deal with the fact that what I'm doing right now is pretty much a compromise between my ambitions for what I want to do with my content and the audience I gain with stuff like, the Execute Aura 66 mod video, or my speedrunning stuff. Frame Dependent Tales, as it currently stands, is pretty much the balance between sticking to the niche I've already established and, you know, doing what I want to do with my contents. You know, I'm currently in the stage of my YouTube life where I have to keep a stable audience. If I end up shifting into something that's way more different than the audience is used to, you know, they might just taper off. They might just, leave me behind for, everything. It already felt like, it already felt scary enough trying to do the first FTT because it was so different to anything else that I'd done at that point in time. And like that as a lesson, I already learned that, you know, violent shifts cause audiences to taper off. Back when I uploaded that Minecraft video and the two commentary videos back in September 2025, they were so radically different from my most successful videos that, nobody really cared about them. They only got like single digit views. Even now, I think they're like under 10 views now. And speaking of Minecraft, one of the other reasons why I've been thinking about this recently is because there is a very specific genre of video that I've been wanting to do. And it is like, it feels completely at odds with the LEGO speedrun stuff. I have recently become enamored with Minecraft civilization videos. Those things where there will be a bunch of players placed into a Minecraft world that will then, proceed to build a story through interacting with each other, which, when paired with some of the best editing on Earth, create honest to God peak. Yeah, I've started wanting to be a part of those. Unfortunately, I feel like where I stand currently is far from being able to really move on to this type of video, for lack of better words. I don't want to, abandon or leave behind the LEGO stuff because I'm still really passionate about all of that. I, you know, being part of communities like the LEGO modding community or the LEGO speedrunning community, they've been like some of the best. They're some of the best communities that I've been in. I've met a lot of people who I really fuck with and who really fuck with me. But I also want to branch out into this more story-driven type of content in a different game, in a different community. That's what makes it difficult for me. Trying to balance between being Ezra the LEGO speedrunner and Ezra the Minecraft storyteller. It's very difficult to put these thoughts of mine into words. It's really hard to try and take some of my worries and write it in a way that it'll make sense if I speak it out loud. Now, I'll just give you an example of what I've been worrying about. So, say that I drop a Minecraft Civ video, alright? And it does way better numbers than what my recent stuff has been doing. Say, like, at least Execute Order 66 numbers. How many of the new people that I'm bringing in from this Minecraft Civ video are going to be interested in the FTTs? How many of them are going to be interested in the LEGO stuff that I've been doing? I'm not sure of a solution yet. It's just a matter for the future. And like all matters for the future, I'll just have to pray that I'll figure it out in the end and that it'll play out the best way it can. something that's been happening to this is that I feel like the channel has been moving away from one that is more gameplay focused towards one where the gameplay is more so used to accentuate the video itself rather than being the video itself. Where that might be confusing, but whatever, we ball. Barring stuff like the stream highlights, which I will probably move to the extras channel where I put my runs in the future because I just don't really feel like they fit here. Like, I think what I've been doing currently is it's way better. Like, I already mentioned this in the first episode of the series, but I've come to dislike the Let's Play style videos I used to create. I didn't feel like they were very evocative of who I am and who, the styles of, the YouTubers that really influenced me and, in the way that I want to make videos. Now that I'm thinking about this, I actually can't help, just thinking about my beginnings as a YouTuber and as a streamer. Like, when I started off way back in 2023 on the old channel, I was not the person I am today. I took the easy path of just raw gameplay instead of really tapping into my passion for writing and storytelling like I'm trying to do now. It was decently successful. I got like a couple views, a couple videos with over 100 views, but looking back on it, it wasn't something I'd be proud of like I am with Frame Dependent Tales so far. Sadly, I deleted all the content from that old channel due to mental struggles, but if I still had those videos around to remind me of who I was, I think it'd be much more enlightening. Truly knowing how far I came from the days of recording on a crappy laptop and posting raw unedited VODs with little care for what I was doing as long as I could maybe get some views on my videos. Maybe I'm just overthinking all this. Maybe the only way out of this issue is through. Maybe all I have to do to save me from this rut in both, my content and my speedrunning, it's just to get out on those uncharted paths and blaze those new trails. The answers are only gonna come when I go searching. I hope you enjoyed me ranting and just getting this stuff off my chest for however long it took for me to get all my thoughts on this topic. Fun fact, this wasn't actually supposed to be the video I was supposed to release this week. I had another one, but I didn't end up finishing writing it, and then I just started having all these thoughts, and I was like, well, hey, let's just, write them out into this week's episode so I can get more time to do the episode I was supposed to do. So that's cool. Anyways, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. If you want more videos like this, I'd suggest liking this one and getting yourself certified notified by hitting that bell. If there was anything in this video that you want to talk about, just go ahead and leave a comment down below. Peace.